Have you heard that Niger Republic has now pledged 100 tankers of petrol, and these tankers will be sent to Bamako with immediate effect, according to the decree of General Abdurrahman Chiani. Now, the journey is going to last 1,400 kilometers. Now, that's going to be the shortest route to Mali. According to the information we heard from anonymous sources, that a lot of drivers actually, they lamented that they don't want to be a part of the journey. But according to what we heard, they said it was vetoed that, look, you have to embark on this journey. It's a solidarity-driven journey. So you have to take 100 tankers of petrol to Mali. You know, Mali is landlocked. So this journey is going to be from Burkina Faso to Mali. Now, we know that this is going to involve a heavy security presence. Let's not call it military presence. It's going to be involved heavy security presence. I don't know if they have enough capability to sustain this route till it gets to Bamako. We will see. Now, we have to understand something. Russia equally transported hydrocarbon to Mali, right? It is important we need to understand what Russia did here as a big geopolitical player. A lot of people are looking at, Mali is at the center of this whole thing. And the most disappointing aspect of it for me as a Nigerian is that we have so many Malians that does not still understand, the role they play in the global geopolitical landscape right now. Mali is going to be one of the biggest players on the planet Earth. Look, it's not a matter of how long, it's a matter of when. And that when is not going to be very, very far away. Mali is contested right now between the BRIC nation, and Russia is that country that is projecting the BRIC assistance right now. And the West, their way of projecting is to bring chaos. This is not a new development. This is something we've seen so far so good, right? Now, one thing is in question here. There is a bone of contention that has, like I always say, that the blessing of Mali walks hand in hand with its doom. And I'm going to explain to you, right? They could have gone for Burkina Faso, they could have gone for Niger. They're not really looking at Niger. There is a reason to that. Okay, a lot of people will go Botswana, Sierra Leone. These countries are some of the most blessed, especially Botswana when it comes to diamond, right? But they're not going for those countries. It is because of the importance of gold at this point in global geopolitics. The end of a lot of people don't still understand why the Russia-Ukraine war is still dragging on. Even though Ukraine is losing very, very bad on the line of contact, a lot of people don't understand why the West, the entire collective West, does not want this war to end, either through negotiation or any way or form you will have it. Because the end of that war will mark the beginning of the multipolar world. And it will be the beginning of the demise of unipolarity. That is the Western system of hegemony, right? And this system, right, it's not just the war. It's the de-dollarization that has now entered this war. Let me tell you something. If the dollar was not involved, it would have been easy to end this war. But because the reputation of the dollar as the global reserve currency is now on the line, this war is going to end when Russia raised their flag and reached that. Now, I'm going to explain something to you, right? Why is Mali so important? Because this whole transformation agenda circles around one natural resources, the gold. The gold is about to be transformed from just being a mineral that is shiny after you've refined it to something you call HQLA. As we speak right now, in the stock exchange, you can see that the stakes of gold is just rising more than ever. Now, the gold has even reached the Basel III Tier 1 asset. Now, if you have gold right now, it's as if you have the real money. The world is moving, even some of the West, they are moving from, glorifying the paper currency to buying real assets. China, as we speak, continues to buy gold at a geometric progression. China is, deleting its dollar reserve. And it's not like they are covertly deleting it, they are overtly deleting it. And that is sending a message to the entire world that something cataclysmic is about to take place. Now, let me tell you something, right? This all started in 2022 when the United States, unilaterally decided to freeze the $300 billion Russian assets. You see, that single geopolitical move right there alerted the entire globe that, look, we can no longer trust the United States dollars as the global reserve currency, right? Everybody started looking for a solution because they felt like, wow, if these people, if the unipolar world can decide to do this to a nuclear power like Russia, right? So what about we who don't even have that monopoly? We don't have that luxury of being the biggest nuclear power in the world, right? It means that, if you are saving your currency, your reserve in dollars, I pity those countries that continues to store their reserve in dollars. Anything can happen at any time. That is just, it means you have to follow a set rules and regulation, and if you don't follow it, anything can happen, right? Control the money and you control the man. If you don't get it, forget about it. Now, where does Mali come into this whole conversation, right? So China and the BRICS country are now beginning to do business in local currency. Now, once upon a time, China proposed initially to the BRIC country that, look, let's stop using the United States dollar to trade. Let's start trading in yuan. A lot of people looked at China like, you know what, we can't trust you. We can't trust your currency. You're about to, become another hegemon and all of that. People could no longer trust just anyone because of what the United States did to the Russian assets, right? So, in the new Shanghai summit, they already developed a new concept where the yuan is going to be backed by gold. As we speak, China already bought over 5,000. That is officially the one we know, right? Tons of gold. 5,000, right? So people are beginning to see the seriousness in the de-dollarization agenda of China. And you can see India, which is another super economy, Russia, you talk about China, these are big economy. Everybody is beginning to trade in their local currency. Iran, and North Korea, that has always been under sanction, is a part of this, clique. And this does not serve the interest of the West. America still has the largest gold reserve, about 8,000 tons, which they store in the British Royal Treasury. Is there in the United Kingdom. So all those people work hand in hand. If you understand, if you really understand the deep concept of this, right? Because they have 8,000 tons of this stored in whatever, it doesn't still mean anything at this point. Now they are going after the nations that have this gold under their surface. That is where the real reserve is. That is where South Africa comes into place. You know, the United States has control over South Africa. South Africa is more or less a puppet regime. I don't even know why they are still in the BRICS, right? Whatever the case is, they got control over South Africa. So their intention is not to destabilize South Africa, right? They even have the Afrikaners there. Look, South Africa is in a whole different kettle of boiling fish, okay? So let's talk about Sudan. That is another country, right? Sudan is a gold hub. But what is going on in Sudan right now? There is massive humanitarian catastrophe going on. Now, let me give you one evidence so that you can understand the real gravity of what is going on. If you look at the head stamp of the bullets that were found in Sudan, right? You know, the head stamp is that, imprint on every bullet that makes you trace the manufacturer, in fact, you will be able to trace the nation that manufactures it and all of that. Now, the head stamp on these bullets you have on your screen, according to credible information, they are NATO head stamps. So a lot of people are looking at the UAE, right? A lot of people are saying UAE is doing this, UAE is doing that. For how long? For how long will you continue to not understand how global geopolitics works? Ukraine is a proxy. The UAE is a proxy of the West. This is just it. A lot of people, you think UAE has the unanimous, they have the single unilateral audacity to cause that level of humanitarian catastrophe, and someone will not tell them to stand down? Why is the UAE not being sanctioned right now as we speak? It is because the UAE is carrying out the agenda of the unipolar hegemon. Look, look, you can see what is going on in Sudan. You would have asked yourself, why is the RSF, why is it deleting the citizen so freely like that? The civilians, the armless civilians, right? A lot of people are talking about, the humanitarian catastrophe in Sudan, yada, yada, yada. No. Why are NATO bullets found in Sudan? Right? Why are different NATO machineries in Sudan? You have to understand one thing. It is because of the minerals of Sudan. This is not about any South Sudan. This is not about any type of ethnic cleansing or something. Those are just surface level, excuses that have been presented. Those are surface level excuses. The deep excuses is the deep excuse is the gold of Sudan. If you have gold right now, you better buckle your belt, because the gold is now going to become an HQLA, which is a high quality liquidity asset. Meaning, if you have gold right now, see, now when the gold gets to the HQLA level, that means the gold transforms from becoming just a mineral resources. It explodes. The full capacity and the potential of gold blows up. It means, and gold is reliable. The price don't fluctuate like the dollar against this and that, So now the thing is, if you have gold right now, you are a potential developed nation. If you look at what China is doing right now, China is saying, if you want to buy Chinese equipment and all of that, you can pay in gold. There is a reason for that. Now the West can see the fact that Mali continue to ship in equipment. Burkina Faso continue to ship in equipment. Now let me link this up for you. Do you notice that most of those equipment are Chinese equipment? Don't you get the way the West is thinking? That, look, they don't need Mali does not need dollars. If you don't get it now, forget about it. Mali does not need the dollars. Mali has money already. The whole story of the legend of Mansa Musa and all of that is real. Mali has money under. See, the citizens of Mali are sitting on money. The all are look, and they know that Mali has a sort of different ethnicity in Mali, and the religious aspect of it. There is a lot of the Malians, because of their diversity, they can be easily manipulated. Because these people feel like, oh, we should be ruling right now. These people feel like they should be ruling and all of that, right? So to solve this problem right now, there is only one way for Mali to escape this whole thing. If not, you can see, I can bet you, without Assimi Goita, two things can happen, right? Let's say you have a democracy in Mali. Mali will become poor again. Different multilateral, multinational organizations will come into Mali, and they will take control of all the minerals in Mali. And as a common Malian will become very, very poor without hope for the future, because Mali has that capability of standing on its feet in the future that we're already looking at. Mali is the future. That is why Mali is heavily contested. A lot of people say they want to destabilize Mali so that they can destabilize the two other Sahel states. The two other Sahel states are equally important, but you have to understand the importance of Mali at this point. Niger has uranium, they have oil, they have some amount of gold. Burkina Faso has some amount of gold. But Mali is the richest at this point between the three AES states, given the need of pressing concern, which is the gold. Right? So we have to understand why they are disturbing Mali. So for the common Malian citizen that does not understand what is at stake, it is your strategic mineral. It is your strategic gift. It is not your fault that you have gold under your soil, right? So the only way forward for the Malians is to stand with Assimi Goita. Look, the reason why they call him a junta is because he has not sold out the Malian people. If you don't get it, forget about it. Assimi Goita is that bridge, that blockade that is standing between complete control of the entire Malian destiny and the enemy. If you take Assimi Goita out, I'm telling you, they already have a puppet in place. If you try anything like democracy right now in Mali, let's not just predict what is going to happen, right? So you have to understand that the whole agenda is to make Mali subservient, to bring poverty into Mali so that they can take control of that gold. Let me tell you something. The country that is most interested in Mali right now is not even France. You know, France is not still the main hegemony. The United States is that country that is contributing heavily to destabilizing Mali, covertly. I can tell you this whole encirclement, blockade of hydrocarbon and all of that, is just to make the Malian regime break down. Now, the JNIM is not going to invade. Just no, the JNIM is not going to do that. The agenda is for the Malian civilians to revolt and call for the government to step down. And I can promise you, they already have a puppet regime in place. So all this time I come online to educate you about the geopolitical shift. And that is why Russia can spot this. China can spot this. Everybody is looking for a strong ally. And the world that we are approaching, Mali is going to be one of the strongest ally that anybody can have in Africa. And that is why, as a Malian, you need to continue to walk the surface of this earth, telling yourself that you are a walking greatness. If you don't understand right now, you better understand. Assimi Goita does not permit that exploitation to happen. You say this over 100 mining permit that has just been rescinded, there is going to still be more propaganda warfare. See, the expectation, the target is for the Malians to betray themselves. Betraying Assimi Goita is not betraying Assimi Goita. Leave Assimi Goita alone. Betraying Assimi Goita is you betraying yourself. Let me tell you something. Assimi Goita studied in Tampa, Florida. You want to tell me that Assimi Goita doesn't know the United States more than you, that you've been in Mali all your life? You better think again. So that is the only man that understands what is going on. You can see that he's giving them silence. That is the only thing. They say, when the cops arrest you, what do? You remain quiet. The best way to confuse the enemy is to remain quiet. If you are not debunking the fake narrative they are putting out there, give them silence. When they post their fake narrative, watch it, don't repost, don't like, don't comment. If you are telling them they are lying, you can see that they continue to post. Because when you tell them that they are lying in their comment section, you are propping them up. You are letting them know that, okay, now what they want to achieve, they are achieving it because, they are making you comment. It means emotionally you are getting hit. So the more you block them, the more you avoid them, the more infuriated they become. And that is this media warfare. I know the social media, they never thought the social media was going to become something that will go against them, right? And now, time is against them, because now you can see that they are now censoring the algorithm and all of that. The real information don't get they limit the reach. If you don't get it, forget about it. But this is me again, making so many research. I've not really had the time to talk about this because I just felt like, this was an independent channel where we talk about breaking news and we just give you what is going on, the updates. But I just felt like there is a need to educate people. The more they bring out this propaganda, the more I'm going to start throwing out the tools in the information toolbox so that the people are aware of what is going on. We don't mind. We'll continue to dish out the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy 7200 signing out. Enough said. But before I go, we'll catch you once again this evening, where we'll be bringing you the latest geopolitical information on the counter-terrorism going on in Burkina Faso, because that's where it's going down. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.